How bad do you want change in your life? Watch today's show.
Makes me want to see, makes me want to dance.
Today I'm talking about how bad do you really want change? You know, as a counselor, I have people come into my office each and every week saying, Kristi, I want change. I feel stuck. I want my life to be different. But when we start talking, it's like, okay, how bad do you really want the change? You know, sometimes we don't want something bad enough. We just kind of keep going. It's like, you know, I want change and I want things to be different, but at the same time, I don't want to put in the work to do that. So I want to read a story in the Bible of where Jesus meets a man. It's in John 5. It says, later on, there was a Jewish festival for which Jesus went up to Jerusalem. Now there was in Jerusalem a pool near the sheep gate. The pool in the Hebrew is called Bethesda, having 5 porches. In these lay a great number of sick folk, some blind, some crippled, and some paralyzed, waiting for the bubbling up of the water. For an angel of the Lord went down at an appointed season and would stir up the pool, and whoever fell in first would be healed. There was a certain man there who had suffered with a deep-seated and lingering disorder for 38 years. And when Jesus noticed him laying there helpless, knowing he had been there a long time, he said to him, "Do you want to become well? Are you really in earnest about getting well?" The invalid said, "Sir, I have nobody when the water is moving to put me into the pool. But while I am trying to come into it myself, somebody else steps down ahead of me." Jesus replied to him, "Get up and pick up your bed and walk." Instantly the man became well and recovered his strength and picked up his bed and walked. Now I want to talk about this story today for a couple of different reasons. One reason is because we have to want change bad enough that we will do whatever it takes. And in the story, when Jesus asked him, "Do you really want to become well?" the invalid said, "Well, but you know, there's nobody here really to help me," and started giving excuses. There's nobody here to help me, and when I try to do it on my own, somebody else always beats me, and I don't know about you, but in my life, I know I've made excuses. I need to change an attitude, or I need to become more self-disciplined. Well, there's always a good reason why I haven't. And here in this story, Jesus said, "Are you really in earnest about getting well?" Now, there are some of you who have been working to get well, and you're giving it all you have. And you may feel like it's a snail's pace, but you're moving forward. I'm not talking to you today. I'm not talking to the people who have been fighting, who've been doing everything that they can to get well. I'm talking today to some of you who you say you want something different, but you're not making any changes. I had a gentleman come into my office a while back and say, "You know, I'm seeing my friends change. I see them getting closer to the Lord, and I've been praying, and it's not happening in my life." And so we started talking a little bit more, and are you spending time with the Lord? Are you praying? Are you reading your Bible? Are you making changes where you know the Lord has kind of spoke to your heart? And he looked at me and said, "No, I'm not doing any of those things." And so I asked him, "How bad do you really want a relationship with the Lord?" And he kind of sat back and looked at me and said, "You know what? I say that that's what I want, but when I really think about it, I really don't want to have to do anything different. I just want him to answer my prayers. I don't want to have to make any changes." And so we started talking about that further, and he looked at me and said, "You know, I guess maybe I really need to think about what it is I really want." See, sometimes we want the change. We want to be different, but we don't want to do what it takes to be different. And so I want to encourage you today, if that's you, I want you to hear Jesus asking you today, are you really ready to get well? Because my friends, when you are ready to get well, I love the story. Jesus says to the invalid, "Get up and walk." And he got up and walked. When you truly want change in your life, when you will do whatever it takes, when you let go of all the excuses and you say, I've got to have change in my life. I am tired. I don't want my life to be this way anymore. When you are at that place, my friend, God will meet you there. He will give you what you need, the strength, the wisdom, the discernment. And when you reach out for help, God is so faithful and He is so good. He will meet you right where you are and help you on that journey. I believe God is saying to you today, do you really want change? Well, I'm Kristi Lemley, and thank you for watching today, Living in the Light.